So The Naked Gun was directed by Akiva Schaffer and it stars Liam Neeson, Pamela Anderson, Paul Walter Hauser, and it's about Frank Drebin Jr., who is the son of Frank Drebin, the character played by Leslie Nielsen in the first three Naked Gun movies, as he is tasked with a new mission to basically take out these bad guys before Police Squad is done for. So this was a movie that for the longest time I've been hearing about is like, oh, they're going to try to do a new Naked Gun movie. How can you do a Naked Gun movie without Leslie Nielsen? Those movies, in my opinion, they're funny. I do enjoy them, but I don't enjoy it as something like, say, Airplane with Leslie Nielsen. But I still get a laugh out of them at least. So when I heard that they were trying to do a new Naked Gun, I was kind of skeptical. We don't really get a lot of these spoof movies or satirical, silly, screwball type movies these days, especially since the parody movies were kind of destroyed in the 2000s with epic movie and disaster movie and so on. So I was curious to see how this movie was going to do. It wasn't until that first trailer dropped when they showed the bank robbery scene and some jokes in the trailer. I'm like, okay, this movie's actually going to do something. This movie could actually be pretty funny. Maybe I'll check it out. And yeah, I'm glad I checked this movie out. This movie is incredibly hilarious. This movie is a lot of fun, and I hope this movie does kind of bring back big screen comedies again. We don't really get a lot of movies that are, just made for laughs and such on the big screen anymore. Usually relegated to just streaming services now. And the fact that Naked Gun is not only playing in theaters, but is actually doing modestly well, it actually kind of makes me happy. So let's talk about the things I do like in this movie. First off, the acting, surprisingly, is really good. From Liam Neeson, from Pamela Anderson, even some of the side characters like Paul Walter Hauser and Danny Houston, all of them do a really good job. CCH Pounder also does a really good job as well. And I think the trick to this movie is that, kind of like what they did with the original Airplane, is that they cast serious actors to kind of play it as serious as possible, but the things they were saying were not serious, they were silly. And I think that's the secret ingredient to kind of make these movies work. You gotta cast somewhat serious actors to play it straight, so that way when we do see it happen, it's actually funny. I do think they understand that with this movie. That is actually very funny. Meanwhile, yes, this movie is absolutely hysterical. There are so many jokes in this movie. This is going to be like one of those movies like Hot Fuzz where I'm thinking, if I watch this movie again, I'm probably going to catch a joke that I probably missed the first time because they're hitting you with so many jokes. So many are going in and out. So many in the background as well. There was kind of somewhere I'm like, is anybody not paying attention to that joke, or did anybody else notice that? And I was like, I did, and I'm glad I did. Meanwhile, I do feel like there is a surprising message with this movie. Not, you're probably thinking like a message with a movie like The Naked Gun. How can there be a message? A lot of people kind of think, oh, you can't be silly anymore, you can't be funny anymore, and you can't really do these things anymore. And I do think the movie has a unique message about what is okay to joke about, what is not okay to joke about, and I do think it's handled very well. A lot of people I feel like a lot of people kind of misunderstand. It's like, oh, you can't make jokes anymore. Well, this movie shows you can make these jokes and have a good time with it. And you can also call out some past behavior that I think actually does, that can be harmful. I do think the movie has a unique message about how comedy is handled. And I think people are going to kind of miss that, but I kind of caught it on my viewing of this movie. And also, we just don't get the amount of silliness, and we don't get a lot of silliness in movies these days. It's just straight up comedy throughout. It is absolutely hilarious. Each scene has at least one funny joke, and I do think that we're getting like a lot of these big screen comedies again. We got Freakier Friday coming out very soon. We got The Roses coming out very soon. And hopefully this kind of leads to more hilarious comedies. Like we got Scary Movie 6 apparently coming out next year. We got Spaceballs coming out next year, the following year as well. So hopefully this means we're going to get back to like movies where people can actually be in a theater and just laugh. That's what I feel like this movie really accomplished, that it brought back the big screen comedy. But let's talk about the things that don't work. Now, as I mentioned, this movie is really funny. Not every joke is a 10 out of 10. I would say about 90% of the jokes are funny, or at least got a chuckle on me. The other ones are fine, they're okay, but they're not like hilarious. There are a couple running jokes in this movie that aren't really great. There are some running jokes in this movie that are really good, but there's like one that's like about an hour into this movie that's not very funny. It's like you're literally just doing the same thing over and over again, and I'm like, you can move on at this point, I feel like. But also, the movie is a parody of Mission Impossible at times, which, okay, I get it. These movies are satirical. They're supposed to make fun of these other movies that are kind of similar and such. But I felt like they were kind of parodying Mission Impossible a lot. Don't get me wrong. It was more of a distraction at times when they kind of pulled something out of Mission Impossible. It was also kind of infrequent. Like there was some towards the beginning, and then there's one about an hour into the movie where it's like, okay, that's kind of a lot from Mission Impossible. And also, you may be surprised if you're a fan of the Naked Gun franchise. You'll kind of see like how they kind of do some jokes from the original in this one, which is kind of at least it was kind of funny when it was like kind of doing something new with the joke. It's like, okay, at least I kind of get what they were going for. Also, I do think there are a few missed opportunities with jokes. You kind of saw that OJ joke in the trailer, and I feel like they should have done a little bit more with the new character that they were going to do with that scene. Like, I feel like there should have been more of his character in the movie than there was. That was his only scene, unfortunately. So that I felt like was a missed opportunity. Also, there were a couple moments in this movie where I kind of felt like the jokes may have hit a little too close to home. A little bit about Liam Neeson's personal life, some of the things he's said, and some of the things that have unfortunately happened in his life that are kind of brought into this movie randomly, and it just kind of felt like, huh, I remember that happening. But it's just kind of more of a distraction rather than something that's actually in the movie. I don't know if it was just me personally, but I feel like they should have. I don't know if they should have gone in that direction, but it's not like it destroys the movie enough to kind of make me go, wow, I don't like this movie anymore. This movie is still a lot of fun. If you're a fan of the Naked Gun movies, I think you'll still enjoy this movie. If you want to see a big screen comedy again, definitely see this movie. I think this is a movie that Leslie Nielsen would have been proud of. So, The Naked Gun, as far as I'm concerned, I had a great time with it. It's a fun throwback with a lot of great jokes, with a lot of committed performances, particularly from Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson. They're really good in this movie. Paul Walter Hauser, CCH Pounder, Danny Houston are all really good in their roles. It's very funny throughout. It kind of has a unique message about comedy and such. And again, we just don't get these silly movies anymore, and I'm glad about that. I'm glad that we're getting them back. Now, even though not every joke is funny, not some parodies just don't make sense, and also some missed opportunities with jokes, and again, some jokes that may be a little too close to home. This is still a movie that's worth watching. I'll give Naked Gun 3 out of 4 stars. See it. So, what's your favorite comedy, just in general? Comment down below, subscribe to the channel. This is Pat, and stay safe.